So today I'm with Ailene Grego, who's president and CEO of Southeast Link and American Formula. Ailene, welcome to Straight Talk.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me today.
So where are you located?
We're in Atlanta, Georgia. Both locations are almost neighbors to each other.
All right. So your commute to work, of course, between locations is easy. I don't know about your home, but right now a lot of people are working from home.
We're working full-time in the office, but I will
you?
say that the commute, which used to be an hour or so when there was a lot of traffic, is now down to 20 minutes. So I'm not complaining.
Fewer people on the road makes it better for
Yes,
you, I suppose. Yeah.
it is. Yes,
Well, it's good to catch up with you for a few minutes. I know you're a member of the ISSA Board of Directors.
I am.
And yeah, so it's good to get some input from the experts in the industry, and the board of directors of ISSA represent every segment of the cleaning world. So I want to talk about a couple of things. One is the recent State of the Industry report we have in ISSA Today magazine, and you contributed to that. Really good comments in that article, which people can see on ISSA.com and in the magazine. You gave the cleaning industry high marks for its response to the pandemic. Tell us about that. Why do you feel we did a good job as an industry?
Well, I think, everybody was throwing such a curveball, and what happened was there was mass hysteria when this all began, and there was a rush to purchase so much extra of everything, be it gloves, masks, toilet paper. People began to start hoarding things. The difficulty for us in distribution anyway was being able to source things in a timely manner and try to keep costs down as best as possible. Because what happened as, demand went up, supply went down, prices skyrocketed. And I think we did a good job sourcing those items, as well as making recommendations for alternative items if the ones that they currently wanted were not available. And I'm, specifically when it comes to hand sanitizer and stuff like that, the name brands, you couldn't get them, still having trouble getting them, but there were alternative solutions. Luckily for me, owning also a manufacturing company, we made the decision to go out and source formulations and stuff like that to make our own hand sanitizer so that we could control our own supply on that end.
Yeah, I find that interesting. You represent both the manufacturing side and distribution. So you make it in one plant, and you send it over to the next to send it out. So
that's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been interesting. I've been in distribution longer than I have manufacturing. So it's been a learning curve for me over the past several years, learning, all the ins and outs of the manufacturing world. But it does give us a lot more flexibility in that we're not dependent on other people who are sourcing materials, say overseas, or, are having like these massive runs on materials. We have the luxury of being able to do small runs, and we aren't hit with as many outages on raw materials when we source them. So it's made my life in distribution that much better, also being in manufacturing.
Yeah, that's cool. So on the ISSA board, what do you represent, since you have both companies?
I'm a distributor director.
Distributor director, yeah. I knew
Yes.
that. I just figured we'll put it out there. Yeah, so good stuff, Ailene. Appreciate it. So here's a question for you. For manufacturing or distributing or both, during the pandemic, which we're still in, but especially in the early stages, what was it really like behind the scenes for the workers, just to get it done? What was it, what did you guys talk about, off camera?
I'm not sure I can tell you everything we say off camera. But I think, the long and the short of it is, yeah, the long and the short of it is just the amount of work that has gone into all of this, the number of calls and emails and requests for quotes and source for things that we don't normally carry has just really bombarded our customer service team and our sales team such that, we had to shift our hours a little bit. People were working earlier and working later. We've also hired an extra customer service person as well as an extra salesperson just to help offset all this extra work that we're having to do. But it's our mission to make sure that everybody returns to a clean and safe building.
Right, right. Yeah, we see some of it, but behind the scenes, for some, it might be hard to imagine what that was like. Let's talk about the GBackstar accreditation program. I know you're very familiar with that. What are your thoughts on how this program is really going to help facilities reopen?
I don't know how anybody could even consider reopening without taking something like GBackstar. Number one, it's going to bring insight to things that maybe you haven't thought of. They could also play a great role in your reopening task force. I know a lot of these large organizations, mostly universities and school systems, have developed task forces containing people from internally from their facility, as well as outside sources like us. GBackstar could be a great addition to that, as well as helping them formulate a plan to reopen with the proper procedures. Not only that, it brings a certain credibility. When you say you have an accreditation from the Global Biorisk Advisory Council, that's got some weight to it. And it shows that you're really taking note and consideration for those who are coming back.
Yeah, I've been interviewing those that are accredited, these facilities, and they're excited about it. Now, most of them are still working on reopening, when you think about sports arenas and such, but we
Right.
do see a few that are starting, and it's positive news. So,
That's great.
yeah. Maybe a final question. Who knows? It might be the final one. What about upcoming trends or things we should look for in the industry? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, I will say that when this all started, we had no idea what was going to happen. But we have for some time, and this is an odd thing to say for somebody who owns manufacturing and distribution, but we have been talking a lot about hypochlorous and how you can go from traditional quats that are toxic to something that's non-toxic and safe for the environment, spray it in the air, not worry about it, have a really fast kill time, and not have to go back and rinse afterwards. I mean, there's been an explosion of demand for hypochlorous products. I don't see that letting up. I think more and more the word gets out, people start to understand that it really does work, and it's even on the end list. They'll start to look into alternative ways to clean and disinfect without those harsh chemicals.
Yeah, I appreciate your technical expertise in that. That's mentioned in your comments in the article, and I did go on Google and look it up, and I found some different references. And you're like, nope, it's this. So,
Well, we've been doing this a long time. We started looking at this technology back in 2008.
oh,
And it's really taken this long for people to kind of get it. But, we've got people like, CDC is using it to clean their facility, Federal Reserve, the National Guard. I mean, there are people who are pretty high up who've made the determination that it works. And now I think because of that, everybody else is starting to listen.
all right. Well, all the details that we've discussed today and that product, how do you say that again?
Hypochlorous acid.
There it is.
The body actually makes hypochlorous.
All right. All in the article in the State of the Industry Report and ISSA Today magazine. Ailene, thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Jeff. I really appreciate it.